Art Cox Show on FM News Talk 97.1, 98.7, AM 1490, and 97.1talk.com.
I wish I had a voice that deep. FM971.com. It just sounds so cool. Chris Arps, substituting hosting for Mark Cox. We are going to get to our next guest, Carrie Hack, talking about her book, Bleeping Motherhood. But we're going to take a call from Robert right quick. Robert, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
I can't complain for a Friday after Thanksgiving. With my lovely wife and sister-in-law in the studio with me.
You know, I always wonder what happened to this whole IRS thing about them committing all these crimes. You know, nobody's really pressing any charges against them.
That's kind of died out, hasn't it?
You know, and everything else, you know, except for there might be some collusion with Russia and Donald Trump, and we're going to spend another 3 months to look into it.
And the thing about it, you know, they're all caught up in this whole possible collusion thing. But, you know, with the IRS scandal, what they did, they were stopping groups from getting their IRS designation so they could be involved in the political process. I mean, that is horrible.
It's illegal. It's a legal activity.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. Hey, Robert, thanks for... Oh, go ahead.
Just like lying under oath.
Yeah.
Like James Comey did.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton. Susan Rice. That's illegal. It's a legal activity.
It is. But you know what they say sometimes, there are different laws for some people than there are for others, and I think this is a prime example.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
That's
Robert. Hey, have a good weekend, my friend.
You too.
All right. Carrie Hack, how are you? I keep wanting to say Davidson. I can't help it. Carrie Hack. You wrote a book. And this is actually one of a couple of them, right? It's a series. Well, tell us a little bit about it.
All right. So we wrote two books called Bleeping Motherhoods, Would You Rather, myself and co-author Audrey Sirocco. And we both contribute or own a blog called bleepingmotherhood.com. Okay. And we, you know, just needed more reasons to laugh and kind of make fun of what's going on. And so we thought, well, everyone else probably does too.
Right.
So let's start sharing some laughter with some other people.
Right. So the title, Would You Rather, where did that come from?
Well, I don't know if you've ever been at a party and kind of it gets quiet for a minute and then someone's like, all right, well, would you rather do this or that? And came out with two outrageous questions. You're like, well, I would rather do none of those.
Right.
And so we're like, well, there's more. We just kept coming up with more. If I can
go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, keeping in mind that these come from bleepingmotherhood.com. This is not going to necessarily...
What's that website again?
Bleepingmotherhood.com.
Okay. This
is not necessarily going to be politically based, but I did dig one up specifically. This is the best political we get. Would you rather swaddle your newborn baby in Donald Trump's hair or communicate with your extended family during delivery with walkie-talkies?
That's a tough one. You need to do like a survey or something on the internet and see what...
I believe his hair is clean, so that should be a fine thing to swaddle your baby.
Yeah,
but there's a curse on that, isn't there?
There
like,
is, I think so.
It up, cuts it, like things go bad.
Tell me this. Now, give the audience a little bit about your background, what you did before, how you got into writing, what initiated this or motivated you to do this.
So I spent 10 years working at an ad agency in New York City. A very soul-darkening
sure. It's New York.
Experience, yeah. And it's advertising. And then I had a baby, and we both lived, my husband and I live outside of Manhattan, and we both commute in, and we're like, wow, if something happens, one of us needs to be home.
Sure.
So since he's an architect, his career is way more stable than mine is, so I stayed home. And then I had another kid, and during the time, my friend from college, Audrey Sirocco, she also had two kids, and she's just like one of the funniest human beings I know. And
next to me.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, right. She tends to talk more about mothering things than you do, although you can certainly talk to me about, bottles.
Yes, beer bottles.
Beer bottles. So she's like, hey, I have this great idea. Why don't we start a mom humor site? And so we contribute to this blog 3 times a week. We do kind of a long-form post, bleepingmotherhood.com. We do a top 5. We generally have a theme for the week. So we do a long-form, a top 5, and then a weekly tip. And then we, just kind of post funnies all throughout on our blog and on our Facebook page, facebook.com/bleepingmotherhood. And just trying to make people laugh.
Now, is this book geared solely towards mothers? I mean, of a woman as in the years that she's going to have a baby, or maybe just after? I mean, would she find enjoyment or humor in the book as well? Is it for mothers?
Our first one is mostly towards, well, they're both mostly towards mothers.
Okay.
Bleeping Motherhood, I mean, that's kind of like we're subject matter experts on that.
Right.
Our second book is Bleeping Motherhood's Would You Rather, Pregnancy, Baby, and Beyond. And that we take a closer look at trying to get pregnant and the crazy things you do
I can imagine.
during pregnancy and the awfulness that happens, the delivery, which is always a beautiful, magical experience, and then the crazy life that is after having a baby. And then, that one is really a great gift for expecting mothers, although it may scare them a little bit.
Sure.
It's good for baby showers because there's opportunities for people to write in advice. In fact, my cousin right now is having a baby shower, and so I sent one along to her. My aunt is having everyone fill it out for her. And then also, when you become a mom, you have to find a new circle because you almost never become a mom at the same time as all your friends do. So you have new friends and you go to these mom outings and nobody really knows what to say to each other. Well, now we have would you rather give birth in a dunk booth at the carnival or give birth riding bareback on an elephant? Let's talk, ladies. Let's talk.
One. So who is the typical person that's coming to bleepingmotherhood.com? Who would you say is the typical demographic? Besides a woman that's had a baby.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Women 25 to, let's say, 50. And they may be a little lonely or feel a little alone and just want to know that the experiences they're having, with breastfeeding, they're not alone in those. And so we're kind of there to say, hey, when, your milk comes in the middle of a meeting, that totally sucks.
I do have a breastfeeding experience myself personally.
Okay, good.
When my daughter was practically newborn, I was holding her with my shirt off one time. And she got a little confused and thought that I could provide her milk, and I'm like, sorry, sweetheart, not gonna get much here.
That's the kind of nipple confusion nobody talks about.
Exactly. But it was so cute though. It was like, boy, she's really hungry because she's going after
she's
it.
Going for
She's going for it. So, what's the next evolution of bleepingmotherhood.com?
Well, we've ventured into podcasting a little bit.
Okay.
We've been inconsistent, but I really like to talk, and if people will listen, I'd really like them to. So we'd love to do more of that. There's future versions of Would You Rather. We'd like to kind of hone in on different markets, talk specifically to the PTA or to teachers or, soccer moms specifically, all the dirty van smell that you experience when your kids play sports.
And you guys had some success with the book. I remember it was somewhere in New York where it was very prominent, where people saw the book.
Yeah.
And your sister made sure that everybody on Facebook know that you had a book in Times Square. Talk a little bit about that.
Certainly getting a BS in advertising. I always dreamed of having an ad in Times Square. And then when the opportunity came about, when our second book launched, we had a huge digital billboard in Times Square. It was for us, a dream come true.
How did that come about?
We had an affiliation with a news organization that, if we used their press releases, they fronted us a billboard.
So is the book, if people want to get it, it's on Amazon. Can they go to Amazon? Did they go to your website?
And actually, we're running a special right now. Hey, Black
Special's
Friday
good.
comes early.
That's a good segue.
If you search Bleeping Motherhood, because lots of people try to be Would You Rather, but really Bleeping Motherhood's the best. Search Bleeping Motherhood in Amazon.com, and you'll get the Bleeping Motherhood's Would You Rather and Bleeping Motherhood's Would You Rather, Pregnancy, Baby, and Beyond. Right now, the Kindle version for Bleeping Motherhood's Would You Rather is 99 cents. So that's kind of like a score. And then the hard copy book, which is a great gift to give, even from Santa Claus, is $9.99.
Excellent. Well, Carrie, thank you for coming in and talk about the book. We talked about it a few months ago, but you were in town. But since you were here for Thanksgiving, we can talk about the book. So I appreciate you coming in.
I really appreciate it.
I hope we sell some books, and I hope, and it is a good book. Tell me this. This is what I wanted to ask. would a male or somebody like me, would I find...
Yeah, and here's one specifically. Would you rather teach a tired 5-year-old to read or teach a sullen 16-year-old to drive? That's something dads are involved in, too.
That's a tough one, and that's what we're going to go to break on that one. So, Carrie Hack, thank you for coming in. The book is Bleeping Motherhood, and the website is...
bleepingmotherhood.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Mrs. Hack.
Thank you.
You and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy.
This hour of the Mark Cox Show brought to you by Thomas Helbig, the official St. Louis financial advisor.